see our good afternoon. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here on time. There are now, let me see, 69 of us inside the Zoom room. And I have a reward for you for being here on time. You can click on the link. You can click on the link that I posted in the chat box so you can download the PowerPoint presentation we used yesterday. The participants who will come in later will not most likely see that link anymore. So I give you the first 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'm going to delete the link. Okay. So please click on the link now if you want a copy of the PowerPoint presentation that we used yesterday. But first, let me check. Please type in the chat box, 1, if the sound and video are okay. 3, if you cannot hear me. Of course, you will not be able to type anything. Great. So people are typing in 1. Okay, so that means our sound, our video are okay. Thank you. Maraming salamat for joining us today. We're going to go to our second of series of 4 sessions on stop disciplining and start managing. Let me now share my screen. Okay, there you go. So today we're going to talk about creating a class culture of excellence. And this is very important because we have to be the best teachers we can possibly be. Kahit anong eskwelahan ang pinagtuturuan mo, you should aspire to be the best teacher you can possibly be. Okay? And there are many reasons why. Kasi may mga nagtatanong, bakit kailangan tayong magkaroon nitong mga seminar na ganito? Bakit kailangan pag-usapan ng excellence? Bakit kailangan to manage and not discipline? Why do we need to even spend time talking about strategies or trying to understand itong mga kabataan na nasa loob ng classroom natin ngayon? Dagdag trabaho, no? I mean, hindi madali ang maupo at makinig for 1.5 hours to leave behind our teaching load so that we can attend a seminar, listen, try to learn. Well, in the first place, that is a clear sign of being an excellent person. Meron siyang lifelong learner aspiration. Yan. Gusto niyang matuto. It's a sign of professionalism. Kahit anong profession, the person has to strive to keep on growing. Pero some of you might be wondering, bakit ganito yung seminar? Hindi ba pwedeng ano na lang, the art of questioning? Ayan, di ba? Yung mga typical, ano? O kaya yung how to teach 21st century math. Maraming ganyang seminars. O kaya yung curriculum designing. Galing. Now, I want to share with you my why. Why I get into character formation seminars like this. Why I keep on connecting everything we will discuss, we have been discussing with character formation. Because number one, and many of you who have attended some of my past seminars have heard me say this again and again, hindi lang tayo nagtuturo ng subjects. Nagtuturo tayo ng mga tao, ng mga kabataan. We do not just teach subjects, we teach children. We were not hired. I know many schools that are present here. I see Dual Tech, LaSalle Green Hills, Asunta School. I see Anihan is also here. You know, we were not just hired by whatever school you're working for to cover the curriculum. We have been hired to make an impact in the lives of our students, to form character, to mold minds. Whatever subject we are given to teach. Ayaw mo man o gusto, kahit paano ang mga kabataan titingin sa atin as role models or someone they will imitate. And this is sometimes a sad thing in some places, not in your schools. The fact that you are here and your school made you attend this seminar, ibig sabihin yung eskwelahan ninyo looks at character formation, at professionalism, at excellence as a very important thing. They give premium to values, to character, to virtues, to formation. That's my why, and that's the why of what I'm going to discuss today. Why should we aspire for excellence? Bakit kailangan nating subukan at gawin ang lahat ng ating magagawa na ang ating class, ang ating mga estudyante will end up to be excellent and with a culture of excellence. You see, yung kultura, mindset, disposition, habits, or you can even say attitude, or simply being. It's not just an adjective, it is a noun. Excellence is what we want our students to be, to aspire for as an adjective, but as a noun, to become excellence in their own life, in their own way, not just now inside the classroom, but especially for the rest of their life. So teachers who are here now, 114 of us, we have to keep on reminding ourselves, we are not just teaching a subject, we are forming character, molding minds. And in the end, how Philippine society is going to be 30 years from now, or even just 10 years from now, greatly depends on how you and I are preparing these young kids, young students, high school students, even college students, how we are preparing them now to be in the future. This is the reason why we need to talk about creating a class culture of excellence. Last meeting yesterday, we were talking about the classroom dynamics, and then nakita natin, oo nga, hindi lang kailangan ng didisiplina. Kailangan we manage the students so that they become the people we want them to be, men and women of character. And to be able to do that, a lot depends on what we do inside the classroom. As experts on character formation would say, lahat ng nangyayari sa loob ng classroom is character formation. Everything. The way the teacher carries himself or herself. The way we even get frustrated and show our anger, disappointment, disgust over wrong things that the students do. The way we react to any situation is part of character formation. Kasi character is caught, not taught. I'm sure you've heard of that expression. Values are caught, not taught. Makikita nila yung professionalism in the way we show it to them, in the way we carry ourselves, in the way we come to class punctually every single day on time. Hindi yung 1 minute late, ay, late na yan. Kahit sabihin mo, ano naman 1 minute lang naman. But sa mata ng mga kabataan, titingnan nila, okay lang naman malate ng 1 minute. Hindi naman importante. The teacher does not even mind. If we ourselves show them with our example that we value time, that we value punctuality, then we are teaching them. Not with our words, but with our example. Sabi ko lagi, ang teachers ko kausap, pag teachers ang kausap ko, sinasabi ko to, teachers, wala kang karapatan magalit sa mga estudyante kung late sila pumasok ng classroom, late sila mag-submit ng assignment, late sila magbigay ng homework. Kung ikaw mismo, ma'am, late ka pumasok ng classroom, late ka magbalik ng test papers, late ka magbigay sa kanila ng grades nila, I mean, values are caught, not taught. Similarly, character is caught. Professionalism is caught, not taught. And all the other virtues, values that you have in your school. Lahat naman ng eskwelahan, di ba, may core values. Yan. But in the first place, the only effective way na maibibigay natin yung mga values and core values and virtues na yun is to do the example of our life. So, we have to create a classroom that is kind, caring, welcoming, professional because of the teacher. Here are a few ideas right away that we have to consider, reflect on. Somebody commented in the evaluation, give us time to reflect. Ayan, that's a very good idea. But sometimes in the parang absence of we need to cover so many things in 1.5 hours. I leave it to you to spend time reflecting on ideas that you picked up. So that's why I highly encourage you that during this 3 more days of the seminar of the series, take notes, especially those ideas that you find important or relevant or yung pwedeng gawin sa loob ng classroom, you take them down in a notebook or in your laptop or in whatever you're using, and then you spend time reflecting on them on your own. Then you get more from this session when you do your own reflection. As she suggested in the evaluation form, make us write journals. Very nice. Pero masasayang yung oras nyo. If I tell you, okay, I will stop talking. I'll give you 5 minutes to write on your journal. Very nice. But I'm sure you can do that on your own. And it's a fantastic idea. Thank you to whoever put that there as a possible action plan that you can do. But more than just that, in fact, I encourage you because I saw registrations of schools, many teachers from the same school attending. Spend time exchanging among yourselves the best ideas that you can possibly implement in your classroom, some strategies that you heard or you actually thought of while we were in the middle of discussing certain items, and share best practices among your fellow teachers. That is a very good faculty development activity that you can do. Sharing of best practices. How do you do that? How do you call the attention of the students without having to shout, scream, or yell? What has worked with you in your years as a teacher, as an instructor, as a coach? Those are fantastic activities that you can do on your own, in your school, with your faculty, with your co-teachers. So we have to foster a positive and inclusive classroom environment to help us create a kind of culture. And today we're going to talk about a culture that is not just any kind, but a culture of excellence. Build rapport, encourage empathy. I'm going to spend time after this first part getting more deeply into the mindset of the digital kids that we have inside our classroom today, the challenges we see because of the kind of world that they are living in. Now, one of those items there is, as experts would say, empathy right now is in a crisis. Empathy is at its lowest in the history of mankind, because the world that we are living in right now is fostering, encouraging a kind of world that is so self-centered, yung parang the highlight is to assert oneself, uh, selfie generation, vanity, the most vain, historically speaking, the most vain generation we've ever seen, we've ever had, of people, yung para bang insisting on their thoughts, their opinions, their feelings. Ganun lagi. That's the kind of world that we're living in right now. And so one of the most important things, whatever subject ang tinuturuan ninyo, one of the most important things we need to do inside the classroom is to get the students develop empathy, feeling for other people, able to see perspectives of other people, putting themselves in the shoes of other people, creatively come out with activities, kahit anong subject ang tinuturuan nyo, creatively come up with activities that will help them develop empathy, working with other people, working with classmates, feeling for other people and their classmates. You see, kahit anong subject ang tinuturuan natin, the fact that we have a class of students inside one room, they are in a position to deal with each other, to work with each other, to empathize with each other. Because when they leave your classroom, the message that the world is bombarding them with is all about me, my, mine, I, the self. That's the world that the young people are growing up in. So, whatever subject we are handling, we have to look for ways of being able to do all these things, to build rapport, to encourage empathy, to develop genuine caring relationships with students. By our example, we show it, and then they will learn it. Ensure that all students feel valued, respected, and supported. There's nothing there about disciplining them, precisely because what we kept on harping on yesterday is hindi mo nga kailangang mang-disiplina kung kaya mo silang i-manage. We have to ensure that they feel valued, respected, and supported. And then we foster an atmosphere of mutual understanding and compassion. And part of that is that the classroom should be known by the students as a place where goodness is celebrated. Values, virtues, character are celebrated. Where whatever background you have, economic background, rich, poor, rich, very poor, it doesn't matter. Here inside our classroom, we celebrate you, we welcome you, we help you, we will help each other. These are all part of creating a culture of excellence, a class culture of excellence. And I'm going to show you concrete reality. I mean, what an excellent class looks like. I apologize ahead of time, but I will tell you how I was able to create my own class of culture, an excellent culture where the students are going to be so eager to succeed, not just academically, but as a person, as a human being, because of the kind of culture that they create, because of the kind of mindset that we teachers are able to put in the among our students, to foster among them. Ralph Marston said this: excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. Now, sabi ko sa inyo kanina, okay, kailangan bigay ko muna sa inyo yung kung anong klaseng mga estudyante meron tayo sa classroom ngayon. I know some of you are attending the session in a classroom or in a hall. So maybe some of those who are in a situation like that may not be able to type in the chat box, but many of you, majority, how many are we now in our room? Let me see. Okay. Many of you, on the other hand, are actually using your own gadget, and so you can type in the chat box. And so what I want to ask you to do is, can you give me concrete problems of attitude that you see among many of your students today? Concrete challenges that you see among your students inside the classroom today. Type in the chat box. It can be about Sir Erwin said sleeping. Yan. Antukin. Laging tutulog-tulog. Ano? Short attention span. Sabi ni Phil. Joven said sleeping, passive, shy. Okay. Any other challenges you see? That are 130 of us here, and I'm sure some will have 2 or 3 observable traits that they see among the young people. Passive, gadget dependency. O nga, no, nasa loob ng classroom pero ang isip nila nandun sa text message, sa cellphone. Out of focus, not seeing relevance. Yan. May mga estudyante ganyan, sasabihin sa inyo, bakit pa kailangan pag-aralan to? Nasa internet naman na to eh. Nasa Google lang to, mas maganda pa nga ang explanation. Not participating, easily distracted, not participative, they tend to reason out of their misbehavior. Talagang pasaway ang tawag dyan. Gadget use, soft voice learners, noisy. Grade 1 teacher daw si Ma'am Dolores. Talkativeness, distracted, grade conscious, passive, not taking notes, gameplay deprived at home, lack initiative, physically present, mentally absent. Okay, great. Yes. Ma'am, si Ma'am Jubilin always shouting daw. Sino yan? Student or yung teacher? Okay, good. Thank you for the inputs. Here are things, sabi ng research, students daw. Sabi ng researchers, ang mga batang nasa loob ng classroom natin ngayon have a very strong entitlement, strong sense of entitlement. You know, one of the reasons why is itong mga batang ito, marami sa kanila, may cellphone na, may laptop na, may gadget na, may tablet na, kahit wala pang sweldo. Hindi pa yan kumikita. Samantalang ako, pinaghirapan ko yung una kong Nokia 3210. Nagtipid ako, nag-ipon ako, hindi ako nag-lunch minsan para makabili ng una kong cellphone. Pero maraming mga kabataan ngayon, abay, wala pang sweldo yan. Meron ng cellphone. Hindi pa kumikita. In other words, nakuha nila ang kanilang cellphone, ang kanilang wifi, ang kanilang data, with hardly any effort on their part. The world gave it to them kasi biglang napunta tayo sa pandemic na biglang everyone suddenly needed his own cellphone, his own gadget, his own laptop. Tapos ganun yung mundo ngayon na kinalalakihan ng mga kabataan. Para bang laging message na naririnig nila, laging paulit-ulit naririnig nila, just do it, enjoy yourself, satisfy your thirst, upgrade. Notification always tells them, uy, you need to upgrade, uy, you need to update. With this kind of mindset, the entitled mindset, para bang everything for them now has got to be instant gratification. So that's another thing. In fact, here's another quality, according to researchers, common among the students na nasa loob ng classroom natin today. It's an impatient and frustrated generation. Kasi nga, instant gratification lagi dapat. They don't know how to wait. You see, waiting has become like an enemy. In fact, boredom has become like an enemy. Silence has almost, for some kids, become an enemy. Kailangan laging may music, kailangan laging may earphones, kailangan laging may TikTok, kailangan laging may social media. That's a lot of noise. That's a lot of noise they are subjected to. And so, you deprive them. Di ba ganun sa classroom? In the classroom, lahat ng gusto nila bawal. Anong mga bawal sa classroom nyo? Netflix, bawal mag-Netflix. Computer games, bawal mag-computer games, of course. Karamihan nga, bawal ang cellphone. You cannot even bring it out. Ganun ang rules. How do you call this? Policy in many schools. Bawal ang YouTube, ang TikTok. Those are precisely the very things they want. And so, for the whole day that they're inside the classroom, they are deprived of exactly the things they like. Impatient and frustrated generation of students you and I have inside the classroom. Yes, somebody pointed out earlier, di ba? Resistant to authority outlook. Para bang yung reklamo ni Ma'am DepEd dun sa viral video niya, yung boundaries ninyo, yan, yung ganyan, di ba yung sinabi niya? Because that is becoming like a common trait among this generation of young people. Oo nga naman, kasi if the world is insisting in their mind, assert yourself and let people know how you feel. Let the world know your outfit of the day. Let the world know that you're in Starbucks. Take a picture and post it and let the world know. Let the world know you were in the concert. Post it. Don't just watch the concert. Take a video so that you can post it as your humble brag. Being able, kunyari pa ang caption mo doon, grabe, 2 oras kaming pumila para makapasok sa Philippine Arena para mapanood sila Bini at saka Horizon ba? Kunyari nagrereklamo, but that's their way of bragging that they were there inside the concert. So with that kind of mindset, asserting oneself, asserting your feelings, they somehow develop a certain resistance to authority. Of course, somebody already, not just somebody, but a number of you pointed out, technology-dependent humans. Habang nasa loob ng classroom natin, ang kanilang iniisip lang is, as soon as I get out of the classroom, I want to check how many likes yung post ko kagabi. I have to open my Facebook. I have to go to TikTok. I have to finish Queen of Tears. Tapos na yung last episode. Now I'm waiting for the 2 special episodes on May 4 and 5. Technology-dependent humans. And then, you remember what we said yesterday, the mindset of ChatGPT, cut and pasting, Wikipedia. They want AI to make their life convenient, comfortable, easy. And yes, one of the results is some of you pointed out, laziness. Laziness is like a common trait because now they can depend on technology. They can count on the so many apps that will make their assignment easier or even zero effort practically. Now, here's another thing common among young people today who are inside your classroom. Ang lakas ng kanilang peer comparison because that's what social media has done. It has spawned a generation of young people who just keep on comparing themselves with their friends and what they're posting, their peers and what they are posting and what they are doing. as they depict in social media. Now, remember, what people post is not exactly the full reality of the person. Kasi nga naman, hindi mo ipopost sa social media yung bagong tubong tagyawat mo. Hindi, hindi. Ang ilalagay mo dun yung may filter. Ayan, filtered. At saka ang ilalagay mo dun yung best foot forward, yung ilalagay mo dun yung very impressive um, entry mo para sa Asoka Challenge. Yun yung mga ilalagay mo dun. And then, you have an ordinary person looking at those posts and they will feel, wow, I cannot do that. I don't have that. I'm not in Boracay. I don't have this vacation. I don't have the all these fancy things that they are flaunting in social media. Then you have problems of self-esteem. You have issues related to self-esteem. That is a kind of classroom now we have. Parang I just have to tell you, ay, good luck ah. Good luck na lang ah. But no, in spite of the kind of generation of kids we have inside our classroom, in spite of the mindsets, the attitude, the behavior, we are in a position to still create a different culture, a culture, an ethos, an environment, um, climate that is totally different from how the world is. And my dear fellow teachers, precisely many students come inside our classroom looking for that culture, the good one. The world has become so dark with all the wars going on, with all the immoralities they read about in the newspaper. Pumapasok sila ng classroom because they want to make sense of what the world is, what is happening to the world. They are not really just after spelling, subject verb agreement, factoring, chemical equations. They they are not just after those things. Many times they come inside their classroom looking for empathy, excellence, virtues, values. That's why they come inside our classroom. Let me show you this video just to rest a bit, and then we will get into, wait, tika muna, don't feel discouraged. Things might be like this, but not all is lost. And this is the fantastic thing about being teachers. Kaya nating labanan ang kultura na nandun ngayon sa mundo inside our classroom. And we get our students ready for a better culture, for a better world, really.
O, late ka na yata nakauwi kagabi.
Ilang beses ka ba dapat pagsabihan?
Ang hirap sa'yo, parang hindi importante ang mga sinasabi namin. Kaya binabaliwala mo! Paulit-ulit namin sinasabi sa'yo, hindi ka man nakikinig!
Three out of 4 teens ang ayaw kumain madalas kasama ang pamilya. Gawing masaya ang hapag-usapan.
O anak, ginabi ka pala sa project mo ah. Kwento ko naman.
Okay. I'm sure many of you have seen that commercial. 3 out of 4 teens ang ayaw kumain madalas kasama ang pamilya. O nga naman, sino ba naman ang gustong kumain na ang ulam mo is sermon? Sisigawan ka, pagagalitan ka. Yan. I wonder what the statistics will be among our students. How many of them really want to be inside the classroom to attend our class. So, this is a very important idea. We want to create a culture of excellence. And part of that is a kind of excellence where the students want to be there, want to be inside their classroom. Because they know the adults, the teachers, will care for them and are after their success, not just in a subject, but success in life. Di ba ganun laging naririnig natin sa mga magagaling na teacher, sa mga master teacher? I don't teach math, I teach life. I'm not just preparing you, class, to pass a test or to pass a subject. I'm preparing you to be successful in life by teaching you math so that you can get a job later on, so that you can pass exams that will enable you to get hired. So that, yes, but more importantly, I want you to succeed in life. So the classroom environment, positive classroom environment, to create a positive environment is a very important thing. And what is a positive classroom environment? Well, in the first place, the students feel safe, supported, and then engaged. Pinag-usapan natin kahapon that the student, we come up with activities that will engage the students, and they really want to learn, and they learn because they actively explore knowledge. It's not just one way of the teacher just lecturing and making them copy notes. Sabi nga ni Dr. Harry Wong, what some teachers do is to try to transfer what is in the textbook into the mind of the students, bypassing memory and whatever other thing. It's important that the students feel safe, supported, and engaged. So we look for ways that they get to participate actively in our discussion, in our lesson, in our class. And that will cultivate a certain culture, a culture of excellence where students will have to exert the effort, and then they develop essential social emotional skills. The other thing is fostering an environment of mutual respect, collaboration, high expectations. We teachers can unlock students' full potential and inspire them to achieve their goals. You know, something very important comes to mind, yung naalala nyo yung expression, students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Something to reflect on. In fact, I want you to spend a few seconds now thinking about that. Students don't care how about how much you know until they know how much you care. Okay. We have a question in the chat box. How do we encourage students to do their best or to be excellent without making them feel like they have to be perfect in the first place? We're going to actually talk about that later on. We slow down on simply highlighting grades, because if the students see or feel that we are only after grades and that is the only basis of our success, standard of success, then they will think that 70 is imperfect and is bad and is failure. And the only way to be positive in the eyes of the teacher is if he is able to get 90s or even perfect. Many times, what we have to, in fact, highlight is effort that is put in by students, improvement that they show. A student may be only getting 85, but if that 85 started with 70 or even 65 at the start of the school year, we celebrate that 85, even if it is not as high as 90 or the first honor of the 97, 98, because that shows effort. Well, we're going to get into precisely ways of celebrating success among our students. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. This is what this session today, therefore, is all about. Deliberately, kailangan hanapan natin ng paraan na masasabi natin, ito sa classroom na to, ang kultura is one of excellence. Not just excellence in academics, but excellence in attitude, in behavior, in outlook, in charity, kindness, and caring, in camaraderie, in friendship. Yan. Excellence has to be defined for the students as not merely about being first honor. Besides, admit it, some students really are just not cut out or equipped to be first honors, but they have their own strengths, they have their own talents, abilities, and we want them to make the most out of those talents, abilities, and gifts that they have. They will have to exert more effort in other areas, but that's about it. That's just how things go. Not everyone has everything that we want them to have, but the striving for that excellence is what we want to plant in them, or what we want to make ingrained in their mind. So then, how do we go about creating a culture, an atmosphere, an ethos, an environment? Number one, here, establish classroom norms and expectations. Kaya nga in the first days of the school year, dapat ang ginagawa ng teachers is agreeing with the students' class. What do you want our class to be known? To be known by, or to be known as. Sasabihin nila, sir, we want the class to be known as the kindest, most caring, most solid, most united, where there is no bullying, there is no put downs. Make the students come up with what they want the class to be known. And then you will have to create it. If you want more concrete strategies on that, in the YouTube channel, where I also post the recordings of our sessions. Those of you, for example, who need a recording of yesterday's session, maybe because you encountered Wi-Fi problems, difficulties with internet connection, you can access the recording of yesterday's session from the YouTube channel, Man Rentoy. Just type Man Rentoy, lalabas doon, teacher training. And the most recent video uploaded there is the one of yesterday. You can go there. And similarly, our session today, the recording of this will be uploaded in that same channel. So don't worry if you encounter Wi-Fi difficulties, problems, or biglang pinatawag ka dahil may meeting ang faculty and you will miss some parts. Don't worry, you can access the recording there. And there, in that record, among the more than 250 videos available there are 3 videos just on strategies. In fact, there are 6. Yung 3 of them I delivered before a live audience in Philippine Women's University, in PWU. We have a number of teachers here with us today. So the recordings of those, ilan yon? Lalabas parang 6 hours, no, of nothing but strategies. And there you can see their strategies on creating culture, creating an environment. So Define clear, measurable behavior expectations that align with the school's values and promote a respectful learning environment. And spend time talking about them. Sabi nga ni um, Dr. Thomas Licona, practice what you preach, but don't forget to preach what you practice. Talk about your values, talk about your expectations of character, of kindness and caring that you want to flourish inside the classroom. Here's what I was talking about earlier. Involve the students in co-creating classroom norms so that they own it and they feel accountable for it. For example, one strategy I shared in one of those videos is what Dr. Hal Orban would do on day one. He would ask the students on day one, whatever class you are handling, ask the students, class, what are the things you do not like, you do not want to be inside our classroom? Magtataas ang mga kamay ng mga estudyante, magsasabi, sir, ayaw namin ng disrespectful. Write it down on the board, one side of the board. Ayaw namin ng put downs, lagay nyo doon. Ayaw namin ng boisterous, loud, noisy, lagay doon. Disrespectful, dishonest, write down all those negative things. Get people to contribute what they don't want in a classroom. So put all those things down on one side of the board. And then ask the second question. What kind of classroom do you want to see? And make the students contribute. Sasabihin ng isa, gusto namin respectful classroom, honest classroom, no cheating, orderly. We want a classroom where there is no insulting, no bad words, no hurting, no harming, no fighting. Write all those things down. And then, after making up those two lists, which came from the students, those they like to see or they want to see, and those they don't want in a classroom, you tell the students, okay, class, since this came from you, can we therefore make a commitment? We will not allow these things that you said, ayaw ninyo. And then, we will foster these things that you said, gusto ninyo in a classroom. And those two things can end up in two posters. Posters. One poster with the list of yung ayaw nila. Another poster with those list or the list of those that gusto nilang makita sa classroom. And every time somebody does something that is included in the things they listed as ayaw nila, like teasing, insulting. Pag may isang estudyante, narinig mo na teasing or putting down or saying bad words, don't get angry. Don't shout, don't scream, don't yell. Don't humiliate. It's enough to say, John, and then point to the poster. Meaning to say, hindi ba pinag-usapan na natin to nung unang araw ng eskwelahan? Sabi natin, hindi natin papayagan yun. But you're not saying all those things. It's enough to call the name of the person's name and point to the poster. And that says everything that you need to say. You see, you don't need to shout, scream, or yell. And besides, it's true. Hindi sa akin galing to. Kayo ang nagsabing ayaw ninyo yan at gusto ninyo ito. They were involved. They have to own it. They have to be accountable for it. That is the beginning of, an excellent classroom, an excellent culture. Namumuo yung ganong klaseng kultura. Can you imagine if all our classrooms are like that, where teachers will not have to resort to getting angry, getting upset, shouting, screaming, yelling, and it's enough to just point to a poster, point to a reminder, point to a quotation that you put inside the classroom that summarizes perhaps your core values, what you want. You said you agreed with the students what you want to see. And more than that, there is no other better way to teach character, to teach values, than through the powerful example of our life. Consistently model and reinforce desired behaviors, providing specific feedback to students. I will, there very quickly, I just want to review with you. Sabi ni Kohlberg, bakit nagpapakabait ang isang tao? He discovered, well, at least in his research, he put forward the principle na, here are 6 levels of moral development. 6 levels of a person doing good. Bakit siya gumagawa ng tama? Ang pinakamababa na level, lowest reason for doing good is because I don't want to get into trouble. Naku, I better behave kasi sabi ni sir, sabi ni ma'am, may detention, may suspension, may expulsion, may punishment. I better behave because I don't want to get into trouble. That is the lowest level of moral development. Kung gagawa lang sila ng tama because they want to avoid detention, suspension, reprimand, mapagalitan, ang baba. Here's the second level. Bakit daw magpapakabait ang isang tao? I want a reward. Kasi sabi ni Sir, manonood tayo ng sine. Pagka nakapasa tayong lahat, magkakaroon tayo ng bonus, free time. I want a reward. Di ba sa mga elementary, preschool, mahilig tayo dyan. Yung may smiley ka, student of the day, ganyan. Good job, star, yan. Well, I want a reward. At least it's better than just avoiding a punishment. Ang problema with this first two is I don't want to get into trouble. You mean to say, pag hindi ka mahuli, okay lang gumawa ng masama? And that's a problem. Even among adults, sometimes, merong mga ganong klaseng tao, gagawa lang ng tama so as not to get into trouble. And therefore, pag walang nakatingin, pag walang nagbabantay, hindi tama ang gagawin or gagawa ng mali. That's why Kohlberg said that's the lowest level. Or I want a reward. In real life, minsan kahit anong ganda ng trabaho natin, the reward will not come. But that's not the reason to stop doing the good. We do the good because it's the right thing to do. Number 3, I want to please somebody. Mas maganda na to, di ba? Students na nag-aaral kasi they want to please their parents. Very nice. Not because there's punishment, 1. Not because there's a reward, 2. But because they want to please their parents. They want to please the teacher. They want to please somebody. Very nice, but we can still do better than this. 4th level, I follow the rules. And may mga ganyan tao. Gagawa ng tama, kasi nasa faculty manual kasi nasa student handbook. Kasi it's the rule. I follow the rules. Very nice. I mean, if the world is full of people who follow the rules, wow, things will be much better. But we can even still do better than this. Here's the 5th level. Bakit ka gumagawa ng tama? I'm considerate of other people. Students, mag-aaral ng subsuban, putting in all the effort. Why? I have to be considerate of my parents. Laki ng tuition fee ko, laki ng gastos nila. Pinaghihirapan nila na makapag-aral ako sa magandang eskwelahan. I have to be considerate of the sacrifices of my parents. Students will study hard. Be considerate naman. Pinaghirapan ni Sir itong lesson na to. Pinaghandaan niya. Makinig tayo. Be considerate of the teacher. Ang ganda. It would be so great if all our students are able to reach 5th level of moral development. Yung gagawa ng tama, not just because may punishment, may reward, it's the rule, they're just trying to please somebody, but because they are considerate of other people. But More importantly, and this will explain why, to create a culture of excellence, we have to strive to reach fifth level of moral development, but even more so, the sixth level of moral development, because this is really what excellence is all about. That I have a personal code of behavior and I follow it. And what's my personal code of behavior? Well, yung core values ng eskwelahan namin na paulit-ulit sa aming pinapaalala ng principal, ng guidance counselor, ng class advisor, ng teacher. Paulit-ulit nilang binabanggit ito sa aming academic, sa aming lessons, sa aming advisory class. Good parents do this when they tell their children, "Anak, magpakabait ka ha. Dala mo ang pangalan ng ating pamilya." Huh? Ang galing. Dala mo ang pangalan ng ating pamilya. Whether you're inside the house or out there, dala mo ang pangalan ng ating pamilya. Ibig sabihin, napaliwanag na ng mga magulang sa kanilang anak ang ibig sabihin ng ating pangalan. That we are kind, that we are caring, that we are hardworking, that we are people of integrity, that we care, that we know how to love, that we know how to pray, that we know how to have faith. And yun, pinalaki tayo ng ating mga magulang with all those values, which just our name will already mean all those values to us. Good teachers, more and more, we should be telling students, class, best behavior dala mo ang pangalan ng ating eskwelahan. I need you to be your best inside the classroom, and even when you're in the mall, in Boracay, wherever you are. Why? Because dala mo ang pangalan ng ating eskwelahan. Which means we have already given them a personal code of behavior, a sort of mission, vision, a sort of what we stand for as a school. And therefore, I expect you to behave, to do your best, whether inside the classroom or outside, because you carry the name of the school. So, let's work on it. It may not be easy, but yes, less and less of class, you better behave Pag kayo nahuli ko, naku, makikita nyo, isususpend ko kayo, i-detain ko kayo. That's level 1, ang babaw. Class, sige na naman, mag-aral kayo kasi kung mag-aral kayo, I'll give you free time. Reward, ang babaw. That's just level 2, etc. And instead, more and more, what should come out of our mouth is class advisor telling the student, class, pupunta tayo sa General Assembly sa flag ceremony, best behavior. Not because I'm going to punish, not because I'm going to reward, but because you're carrying the name of our class. That's what we will have to work on to create a kind of culture that is excellent. So, what do we do? 1, let's have high expectations. Kahit ganito na ang estudyante ngayon, you remember kanina pinag-usapan natin yung mga problema, yung sabi nyo dito may lazy, may disrespectful, may easily distracted. Yes, but in spite of that, to set high expectations that we have to keep on saying, repeating inside the classroom, class, I expect the best from you. Because we commit ourselves to being the best, to working to be the best, to work for excellence, which may not be perfect, the question that was posed here, which it doesn't mean I'm expecting you to be perfect, but strive for excellence. Now, what is excellence? Napaliwanag na natin dapat yun in the first days of school. At paulit-ulit nating pinapaalala sa kanila. What are our high expectations? Not just in academics, but especially so in the mindset, in the attitude, in the behavior, in character. And to be able to successfully do that, experts will tell us For education to be effective, it must be personal. It's a relationship. Hindi lang natin sila nakikita as class numbers. Now, one of the most basic in positive relationships, teachers, I know minsan napakahirap, but we have to do our best to memorize their names. I don't know how you're going to do it. There are many ways of being able to do it, to do it, especially if you're, well, like me. Many times, ang hirap, nahirapan ako mag-memorize with the thousands of students na dumaan, for example, sa classes ko from 1989 when I started teaching all the way to right before the pandemic. I had thousands of students from grade 4 all the way to college that I've had. Sometimes I meet them in the mall. I cannot even remember. Is this student from St. Joseph in Iloilo, West Bridge in Iloilo, CRC College of the 90s, Southridge, or Bannister Academy, or Washung School in Iloilo that I taught it? I cannot even remember. But inside the classroom, while they are inside our classroom, we have to find ways and means to be able to try to be able to memorize their names and be able to call them by nickname. Nung nag-aaral ako sa Southridge School sa Alabang, bawal magtawag ng mga classmates ng family name. Rentoy, Rentoy, bawal yun. We were forced, we were obligated to call each other by nicknames. Of course, except the teacher. The teacher we called Dr. Dumol, Mr. Escasa, sign of respect. But among our classmates, we have to call them by nicknames. Well, in the same way, the teachers will have to exert the effort to call our students by their names because they are not just class numbers. And trying to remember their names is a very clear first step to, well, caring, welcoming. I know it is very difficult. It can be difficult, especially kung marami kang estudyante at marami kang classes na hinahawakan. But that is one of the first and most basic steps towards developing positive relationships. But more than that, we exert the effort to get to know them outside of simply being subject students and students in our class, in our subject. A real positive relationship is teachers even trying to get to know the interests, the strengths, the challenges, the difficulties of our students. That is real sign of genuine care, genuine concern for their well-being. That's why, sabi ko kahapon, before we scream and shout and yell, alamin natin bakit antukin itong batang to. In fact, the fact that maybe he or she falls asleep in our class is serious enough reason to call her or him outside of class and ask, is there anything we can do to help you? You seem to be having a hard time keeping awake. Do you need to wash your face before the class? We think of what we can, we find a way of knowing more than simply the externals. And for that, if we are to create an excellent class, well, we can say the class is excellent if students are actively participating, raising their hands, reciting, participating, actively engaged. One is we have to come up with all those activities that will get them engaged and interested. Maybe another thing is to find ways and means that we can improve more and more in the way we deliver our class, our lessons, because maybe it can happen. That is the problem. That's why sa teacher training, and I've spent years doing teacher training as a principal in Southridge Intermediate School and vice principal of high school. Sometimes what we did was to record the teacher in action. And then to watch the recording with the teacher. Siya mismo magugulat. Ay, grabe, ganun pala ako. I sound angry. Ay, hindi ko na-realize yun. I sound boring. Because they never watch themselves. They cannot. I mean, unless you record them and unless you have a recording. And this is the greatest advantage I had of doing webinars, because then I have to record all of them for the sake of those who will have problems with Wi-Fi, and I get to watch myself, and I myself continue learning and realizing, ay, masyadong mahaba dito sa part na to. I could have actually jumped and shortened that story, or we have to learn how to do things better by getting to know ourselves better also. Emphasis on critical thinking and problem solving. As I mentioned yesterday, kasalanan mo, sir, ma'am, kung ang mga estudyante will just resort to cut and pasting. But kasi yun ang assignment na binigay mo, yung pwede lang i-cut and paste. Make them think, make them evaluate, make them criticize, make them judge, make them resort to the higher order thinking skills, because in the end, this is what they cannot get in the internet simply by going to the websites. And this is the problem we see in this generation of young people today. Sabi ng mga researchers, we have the most gullible generation we've ever seen in mankind, in humanity, because of the presence of fake news. And people know that, and they create clickbaits that will lead people to wrong sites or bad information, etc. We need to help the students develop critical thinking, problem solving. Well, all throughout this 1 hour that we've been talking, really, it's all about promoting a positive classroom environment. And that's how we create an excellent classroom culture. We are down to the last 13 minutes or so. Here are some things we can do, especially because I see a question in our chat box about, what else can we do? Celebrate achievements, effort, and growth. Not just grades, but achievements. Achievement yun, na the student was failing in the previous quarter, and now he's passing. That's worth celebrating with a class. And I'm going to show you how I did it in my grade school class for many years that I was handling grade 4, 5, 6, 7. Recognize and reward students' hard work, perseverance, and contributions to the classroom community. Encourage a sense of pride in academic accomplishments. Get them, and you yourself, to have a commitment to continuous learning. I'm going to show you my classroom. I know for many of you who have attended my session on classroom management in the past, you may have seen this, but I'm going to give this a twist. This was my classroom, my last class in Southridge before I moved to the University of Asia and the Pacific. Effectively, after this, I still taught for 5 years in Bannister Academy, teaching students in grades 5, 6, and 7. And Northfield in high school. But this was my last grade school class. For many years, I was advisor of grade 4. But on my last year, that was 2009, walang gustong kumuha ng grade 7. So sabi ko, sige, kunin ko yan. Dumaan na lahat yan sa grade 5 ko, which was my class advisory for many years. Now, here is how I created a culture of excellence, camaraderie, friendship, unity, In my classroom, you see there the name tags, the name cards of all my students. They enter the classroom and they see that. They will look for their names and immediately they feel belong. They feel they belong to the class. Remember, we're creating a class culture of excellence, of unity, of friendship, of camaraderie. They see their names there. And then this is what I announced to them at the start of the school year. Okay, class, we have a class excellence system, student excellence system. Here's how it goes. Every time you contribute to class unity, class prestige, or class honor, I'm going to put a tag, which is just a colored sticker. I'm going to put a tag at the back of your name card. Every time you do something that contributes to class unity, class honor, class prestige. Okay? And at the end of the quarter, the 5 students with the highest number of tags will be given a certificate that indicates that you were the 5 top students in the class. Now, take note, it's not just about the grades. Here are the different ways you can get a tag. For example, we have an outreach in Muntinlupa, Hospital ng Muntinlupa this Saturday. If you participate, then you will get a tag because that is contributing to class unity, class honor, class prestige. So we have that outreach. We're going to visit the poor, the sick in Hospital ng Muntinlupa. We'll make arrangements for somebody to bring a van for those who will want to go. And those who want to go, you can bring either 2 kilos of rice, 1 kilo of sugar, or can of milk that we're going to give to a poor sick in the hospital. Okay, Monday comes, tapos na yung outreach, ano? Okay, class, the following joined us in the Muntinlupa, Hospital ng Muntinlupa outreach, therefore contributing to class unity, class prestige, class honor. I will announce the names, and as I announce the names of those who joined, I put a tag, a sticker at the back of their name tags. And you hear the students applauding, clapping, cheering. I mean, it becomes a cheer. And especially, it takes time if practically everyone in the class joined. Everybody gets a tag. Now, here's another way to give a tag, to get a sticker, to get a tag. Class, the following qualified to be in the varsity team basketball. Therefore, they contributed to the prestige of the class. And as I announced the names of the varsity players who qualified, I put a tag at the back of their name cards. The following students, the parents came for the parent quarterly forum. And chances are practically 100% of their parents attended the parents quarterly forum. In Southridge, we required the parents to come to attend parenting talks 3 times a year, and then once for father and son activity. And as I announced the names of those whose parents came, I put a tag at the back of the name cards. And all the other contributions you can possibly think of to class unity, class prestige, and class honor. Of course, you expect them to study and study hard. So that's where I give the biggest number of tags. If you are third honor, which in Southridge we call principal's list, you get 5 tags. If you get second honors at the end of the quarter, I'm going to give you 7 tags. If you get first honor, you're going to get 10 tags at the back of your name cards. And they all contribute to class honor, class prestige, class unity. You see, it's not just about the grades. It's about contributing to class honor, class unity, class prestige. That's an excellent class. And you know what happens? As it takes time, right? For me to put 10 tags, the applause, turns into cheering, into celebrating. I love a class where students celebrate each other's achievements. That's an excellent class. And so you have students excited to join us for, when I was as early as the 90s, I had this campaign. I organized all sorts of things to get the students away from the computer games, especially computer games that are violent, where the more you kill, the more points you get, the higher level you go. I know. Some of you at the back of your mind are already objecting that some computer games are good. Okay, I don't argue with that. But I've seen from 1989, when I started teaching, all the way to the present, how damaging addiction to computer games, especially the violent ones, can be to the minds, mindset, attitude, behavior of students. And so I organize all sorts of things to get them out of the computer games. For example, announcing to the class this Saturday rather, those who want can join us and spend the afternoon in Fully Booked in BGC. And we would get discount because the owner of Fully Booked was a former student of Southridge, and he would give us usually 15% discount for book purchases. And that afternoon in Fully Booked is far better spent than killing the whole afternoon in front of the computer playing games. Or we would organize sleepovers where students would come back after Friday dismissal. They come back in the evening, and we would have futsal, basketball, dodgeball, water bombs tournament all night. And then they sleep in the classroom. That's far better than killing the whole time on a Friday evening playing computer games or Enchanted Kingdom with their class. That's far better time spent than just killing time in front of the computer. So that is my classroom. There's a lot of celebration. There's a lot of unity because they all want to join, also because they want to get the tags, contributing to class unity, class prestige, class honor. And those are all time spent well. Now, some of you are thinking, lahat yan? Dagdag trabaho? Yes, because it works. To show you how it works, I'll show you, I would always have a class website because that's my way of being able to connect with the parents. And we would have that reputation of having 100% attendance of parents to our parent quarterly forum or the parenting talks that the parents are asked to attend. 100%, not very many. If not, it's a very rare thing, but not in my class. Year after year, I would have class that would be able to get 100%. 100% gala attire, 100% of the time. That's not a common thing. Many classes usually would have students forgetting their gala on certain days that they are required. Here, in 5B Best Bets class, everyone made it to the honor roll except 2. Now, they made it to the honor roll not because we lowered the standards, but because you have students striving hard to make it to the honor rolls because they want the tags. Now, please keep in mind, yung tags, it's not that they're competing with each other because anyone can go for it. Even if they're not first honor, they can work on the other areas by which they contribute to class unity, class prestige, and class honor. So, 100%, this is another school year, the same thing happens, 100% attendance to the Parents Quarterly Forum. Congratulations, we did it again. Of the 9 finalists in the Book Fair Essay Writing Contest, 9 are from the 5B Best Bets. Lahat sila came from the class. or being judged as the cleanest classroom, being judged as the highest pointer for the search for class excellence award, etc. So that answers the question, does it work? Yes, I have to say it works. We will have to end in a while. Let me just give this last ideas about creating a class excellence culture of excellence. To be able to sustain it, we have to continuously improve, look for ways of being able to do things better, especially with the help of the students. Make the students participate in evaluating how are we doing as a class? What can we improve on? May problema with talkative students? Class, what can we do so that we address the problem of talkativeness of some people? My co-teachers are complaining about the class. You see, it's their problem. Don't just be the one trying to solve it. Make them part of the solution. Make them look for the solution. That's also part of shared ownership. Empower the students to take an active role in upholding classroom norms, standards, culture. And if we're talking about class excellence culture of excellence, then they have to own this effort, the responsibility of creating the culture. After all, it's really their culture. They're the ones who make it. And then collaborative effort. Continuously engage in dialogue with colleagues, with fellow teachers. Anong ginagawa mo? Paano mo solusyonan tong ganitong klaseng problema? There should be a lot of exchange of ideas among yourselves, among the teachers. You know the best way to learn how to be a master teacher? Learn from the master teacher. Interview those teachers you have in your school who are known to be excellent people, excellent teachers. Consult them. They will just be so happy to share with you tips, learning that they themselves picked up along the way. The secret of joy in work is contained in one word, excellence. To know how to do something well is to enjoy it. And that's what happens. Teaching becomes an enjoyable thing, especially if you know you're creating a culture of excellence where students are just so thrilled to be there. Okay, let me see. I'm going to now type in the chat box the link for today's certificate. Please click on the link now. Let me just stop the recording.